Imagine this. What if growing old didn't mean fading away, but instead stepping into a richer, more supported chapter of life? Stay with me, because I'm about to share 5 groundbreaking and deeply human ways to care for our elderly that might just change how you look at aging forever. It all started for me in a quiet Chicago suburb. I was doing my rounds when I met Walter, a 79-year-old Navy veteran. His daughter had recently moved across the country, and while his home was well equipped with grab bars and medical alert systems, something was clearly missing. Joy. He had health support, but no emotional sustenance. Walter spent his days watching reruns, not because he loved them, but because there was nothing else. As a doctor, I've seen too many cases like this. People kept alive, but not truly living. So we tried something different. We introduced what's called a memory activation journey, using a custom-built tablet app created for seniors with cognitive decline. It showed old naval ship footage, big band music, and even let Walter log stories in his own voice. Suddenly, his days became storytelling sessions. His grandson in California started calling weekly to listen to these new audio journals. Walter wasn't just surviving anymore. He was being remembered, in real time, by those he loved. It wasn't therapy in the traditional sense, but it was healing all the same. Next, I traveled to a senior community center in Denver, where I met Margaret, a retired jazz pianist living with moderate Parkinson's. She could barely lift a spoon some days, yet her fingers still twitched with music. Traditional care focused on her tremors and medication adherence. But we asked a new question: what still sparks her soul? That's when we brought in an adaptive music keyboard programmed with simplified jazz riffs. The keys lit up in sequence, guiding her fingers through melodies. You wouldn't believe the way her eyes lit up. Staff said her mood scores, yes, those are tracked, jumped within a week. That's what I call soul therapy. In the Bronx, New York, I was invited to a new intergenerational housing pilot. The model was simple but revolutionary. Pair university students who needed affordable housing with seniors who had an extra room. What began as an economic arrangement turned into something far deeper. Shirley, a retired librarian, and Darnell, a pre-med student, were paired together. She helped him study Latin roots of medical terms, and he helped her troubleshoot her smartphone. Over the months, they became co-authors of a small blog where they compared 1960s news with today's headlines. Shirley said, and I quote, "I stopped counting my days and started making them count. That's when you know something's working." Let's shift to technology. In Palo Alto, a startup created what they call a mood-aware living environment. Small modular tech that adapts a room based on mood and vitals. For example, if heart rate variability indicates stress, soft lighting and lavender aromatherapy automatically activate. Or if movement sensors notice decreased activity for 2 days, the system gently plays motivational audio or sends alerts to a remote caregiver. We tested this with 20 patients in a long-term care facility. Result? 68% showed improved sleep and lowered anxiety in just 3 weeks. And yes, we measured it clinically. But more importantly, they felt seen, even when alone. Perhaps the most moving story comes from St. Paul, Minnesota, where a local animal shelter began training older, calmer dogs for companionship in senior homes. Meet Edith, an 84-year-old who had outlived her friends and 3 children. Her world had become very quiet, but when she was matched with Millie, a 6-year-old rescue beagle, things changed. Millie wasn't just a pet, she was a reason to get out of bed. Edith began walking again, chatting with neighbors, even hosting a weekly tea with others who had dogs. When we measured her cortisol and blood pressure levels before and after adopting Millie, both had dropped, but you didn't need charts to know she was thriving again. Each of these cases taught me one simple truth. Longevity is only a gift if it's filled with life. Elder care in the U.S. has to move beyond the basics. Yes, we need meds, ramps, and checkups, but we also need storytelling, creativity, companionship, and purpose. We need to treat the soul, not just the symptoms. As a doctor, I urge families to stop asking only, "Are they okay medically?" and start asking, "Are they feeling alive?" Whether it's through a sensory keyboard, a young roommate, a tech-driven smart room, or the soft nuzzle of a dog, small things spark big changes. So if you're watching this, here's what you can do right now. Pick one elder in your life. Ask them about their favorite memory, their dream vacation, their favorite book. Help them reconnect with it. Help them build a new memory. You don't need to be a doctor to do this. You just need to be human. And if you're working in healthcare, policy, or senior services, think bigger. Advocate for innovation. Push for emotional care to sit alongside physical care. The future of elderly wellness isn't in keeping them safe. It's in keeping them seen. Thanks for sticking with me. Let's keep fighting for a world where getting older means getting deeper, not lonelier. Until next time, listen louder, care harder, and never let the stories of our elders go silent. They are not the past. They are the living heart of who we are becoming. Growing old shouldn't mean disappearing. It should mean being embraced, supported, and celebrated. In this video, we explored powerful ways to bring more life, connection, and meaning to our elders' lives. It's not just about longer years, but better ones. We began with Walter, a Navy veteran whose days were empty until we introduced a memory app tailored to his past. Once he started sharing his stories, his grandson started calling more. It reminded us that even a simple act like remembering can reconnect generations. Then came Margaret, the jazz pianist in Denver. Though Parkinson's limited her movement, her love for music still lived in her fingertips. An adaptive keyboard helped her play again, and with it came joy, purpose, and real improvement in her emotional health. In the Bronx, we saw how housing students with seniors turned into something magical. Shirley and Darnell weren't just roommates. They were learning from each other and building a friendship across generations. It was proof that sometimes the best medicine is simply feeling needed. Out west, smart technology showed us another path. A room that senses stress and responds with calming lights and sounds helped seniors sleep better and feel more at peace. It wasn't flashy, but it worked. And more importantly, it made people feel noticed. Then there was Edith and her rescue dog, Millie. That beagle didn't just keep her company, it gave her a reason to smile again. Sometimes healing doesn't come from a pill, but from a wagging tail and a daily walk. At the heart of all these stories is a simple truth. Aging doesn't mean the end of your story. It's just a new chapter. And with creativity, empathy, and bold ideas, we can make that chapter rich with meaning. Let's not settle for keeping our elders alive. Let's help them truly live.